Hello, everyone. I'm Jess, and today's story is important because it highlights some of the changes that have come within the context of the travel industry as a direct result of this whole global pandemic. A lot of businesses have revised their policies, and so there's a story that I'm going to put in the description box. The name of the story is United Airlines Reworks Cancellation Definition to Avoid Refunds. So for many of you, you know that as a result of the global pandemic, with the exception of essential workers and those who had to travel for emergency purposes, no one could just book a flight and get on the flight and go from state to state or from country to country as before this global pandemic happened. What this has done is created a huge problem for airline carriers. The airline industry has taken a lot of heat for not wanting to give people their refunds back. Because of that, they've received a lot of pressure from the government to issue refunds as a direct result of this very unfortunate, unprecedented situation. And some airlines have been good about working with their travelers, whether it's to provide refunds or to give vouchers. I believe some of our travelers have said that Delta was great about working with them, but United has been a problem. We've actually had one of our travelers who've had an issue with getting a refund with United, but even still, they worked with her. So let me just get into why this story is important and why you should pay attention. It says, following a passenger complaint regarding a refund, United Airlines has shared details on its cancellation policy. Despite the Department of Transportation firm's stance on the topic, the Chicago-based carrier interprets its ruling differently. So basically what they're saying is United has sort of redefined their cancellation policy. And so this goes on to say, the operator states that a cancellation is not based on a flight number or a tail number, but on the ability to provide transportation to their customers without significant delay. Therefore, if transport can be sorted within 6 hours, you guys, of a passenger's original departure or arrival time, this is not defined as a cancellation according to the airlines. Ultimately, this is not the first time that United is facing questions about its cancellation policy during this period. They've had reviews made over the last few months as the business tries to cope with the unprecedented impact of the global health crisis. Flight cancellations can significantly impact an individual. It won't be surprised if the firm revises its cancellation policy once again. And so, long story short, they're trying to get out of issuing people refunds. That's just what it is. They don't really want to be inconvenienced. This is United Airlines. And I would encourage you moving forward, be very clear on what an airline's policy is on cancellation. As a traveler, one thing you have to begin to understand is that from a business perspective, this is a very hard, tough lesson learned for a variety of businesses that operate in not only the travel space, but hospitality space. Really all businesses. This has been like such an unprecedented time that people are now having to revise their business practices and their business policies to incorporate the what if this happens type of scenario. So just be mindful of how things are when you're purchasing. And I speak to this specifically for the travel industry, but I have to say, even with places like, grocery stores and Walmarts, they've even revised their return policies as well. So be mindful of that. This global pandemic has had an impact on all businesses and service providers in a number of ways. But just know, going forward, you have to be mindful of return policies, of cancellation policies, and of rebooking and how all of that looks. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We have more content coming.